How low should your seoinage go? That is the topic of today's video. It's a question that comes up all the time in the dojo. People are like, you know, how low should you go? And by the way, this video will not talk about like drop seoinages. This is more about just the degree of how low you should be with your feet still on the ground. So we're not dropping a knee at all here. To answer the question, I basically like scoured YouTube and just kept looking for seoinage, both ippon and morote, and looking at how low these instructors, high-level instructors, say that you should get for like the most efficient, for the version that works the best, right? So let's get into the instructionals. All right, guys, this is the category of less than 10-degree knee bend. And that's how we're gonna go through this video and categorize the degree of drop. It's the degree that your knee bends. So another thing to keep in mind is that the less you bend your knee, typically the more you're gonna be bending your hip. And that's just basically how the body works. So let's check out the first one. This is less than 10-degree knee bend. This is basically no knees involved.
If I can put my back on his chest, and then I try to put my back on the floor, I'll throw him for ippon every time. So even though his legs are short, all right, the goal is to get my back to his chest. So even if I'm here and I stand up, I have Shintaro. He's done. No matter how hard he sprawls, no matter what he does, it won't matter.
It's an interesting point. So forget lifting the opponent off the ground. Just think of rotation, get your back to their chest, and then think about putting your back on the mat. And if you do that, then they're going to be attached to you. So they're going to, you know, you're going to get that score.
When I bend my hips, because my back is stuck to his chest, okay? So don't focus. A lot of people try to uppercut as hard as they can and get the lift into the air instead of focusing on the rotation. And what happens is they end up cutting it short. So from this side, if I was wearing a back patch, you'd be able to see it because you focus here, and then now I can't turn, right? I'm always chasing him, and I can never get the throw. Whereas when I do it, and I get that off balance, I spin all the way through. I lock the position, extend, bend.
You could see here that he's emphasizing that back chest connection, and then he actually like extends his knees, and then like just check out that hinge at the waist, because I guess he doesn't want to jump and slam Shintaro on the mats. Okay, this is about the 45-degree knee bend. So, you know, if you have a protractor, it's like if 90 is this, 45 is like that. So, this is from a video entitled How to Do Ippon Seoinage. And this is, the channel is Sampson Judo.
Action turns and looks the other direction. My knees are bent. There's good body contact. My hips have to be just underneath Uki's belt. Don't try to turn in and be very high. You've got to drop low so Uki's dynamic starts to drop forward. Turn your head round, make the contact. At this stage, my own positioning is very important. I shouldn't be flat-footed. My heels should be off the mat.
So you can see here, we haven't quite reached like a perfect 90-degree knee bend. We're kind of at 45. A cue for this that makes sense is like try to get your belt below Uke's belt. And yeah, there's a lot of this and it works.
Very, very important for the way my knees work. My flexibility has to be in such that I can actually throw or spring, or later on it will be very important for me to be able to do transitions. So don't enter flat-footed. Turn it with your toes up, knees bent, stay relaxed, good contact with the shoulder, good kuzushi, good tsukuri, good turning with the head action. your hips underneath your opponent's hips, and then all that's left for me to turn my head and execute the throw. So step, up, shoulder, left, turn, up, and throw.
Okay, now we're starting to get into the above 45-degree knee bend. This is from a video entitled 3 Common Mistakes of Morote Seoinage.
Quite stable to pull. Again, step first and pull. Again, step and pull. Again, my elbow comes into his elbow like this. So you can try to step first, okay? Not pulling first. Step and pull, almost the same time, but my right foot always lands first, okay, before I pull. Again. Step and pull. Step and pull. Okay? So now, so one more thing. So one more common mistake for Morote seoinage is, a lot of people try to throw over your head like this. Over head like this. So this way, like power
So just
doesn't come.
notice that in this video, he teaches it a few different ways. I don't even know if he realizes it, but the first time is pretty much like the previous video. It's like about 45 degrees, and then as the video progresses, he gets lower and lower, but he doesn't mention it, but that's what happens in the video.
Throwing like over your right shoulder. So I'm right-handed. So I always try to throw over my right shoulder. So step and pull to get him off balance, and throwing.
This one is the just under 90-degree bend. We're pretty much at 90, but we haven't really gotten there yet.
And full turn, and lift up, and lift up, and arm, pull. This is seoinage. Sit down. I slide right. I slide right. I slide right. Okay. Always Japanese. Yes, I said.
In this video, this is from Steve Scott. This is where basically past 90-degree knee bend, and we've started to get pretty low here.
Seoinage. This is a low squat style seoinage. This may not be for everybody. I'm a big tall guy. This isn't my cup of tea. I'm more of a knee drop person, but you know what? I see tall guys use it. So, it's your own personal preference. The idea here is Derek just kind of gets your legs a little wider than normal. What Derek's, before I have him do it, his idea is to come underneath Eric and in a squatting position. So just he comes in just to jump in and see how low he is. See, that's the idea. Now look how far he is between the legs. Even if his legs were together, it's kind of like a bowling ball hitting bowling pins. They go flying everywhere. So even if his legs are close, you can still make them, you can split them open, but if they're a little wider, it makes it all that much easier. So come out again. Now, another thing on this that I think is an important phase of this, or aspect of it, is when Derek throws, he wants his head in front of his knees. In other words, his butt's going to be pretty far back, and he's leaning into the direction of the throw, and rather than being just squatting and being upright, okay? So we're going to show you the wrong way first. Just come in and squat upright, just like you're squatting. Okay, now that could work, don't get me wrong. Some guys may like that. But if you want to get a lot of more ballistic effect, really drill this guy, when you come in, we come back out. When you're coming in, you're going to just literally dive in deep like that. See how low he is? And then when he throws, just go ahead and complete the roll. Wham. See how he stays really round.
I mean, I like the way that this is, by the way. Like, I just think it's interesting, the whole jump between the legs thing, and like you get so low that you curl up into like a ball. I think that this way is a really cool way to teach it, and they're getting pretty low, so that's cool. Okay, we are back to Sampson Judo. He did teach, I think it was like the second category, like we're just under or around 45 degrees, but he also teaches it more than 90-degree bend. And check out those knees.
One more time. Sit on your toes. Keep your posture straight. Like this. You guys do get like that, right? See? Oh. Then you come back. Okay? So, this training is very important.
This is super low, and this is Japanese style, so it's expected.
Okay? Seoinage. In seoinage. So, if you get it seoinage like this, you lose your posture, balance, and you mistake seoinage like this. So, when you make seoinage, so you guys know.
So just check out how low he gets. This is, by the way, Shinjiro Sasaki, seoinage legs. So he's just teaching these kids how to get low. And I think this is my favorite instructional for the low version of this, because it's just, if you could teach it to kids, then even like a dummy like me can understand. So that's cool.
Should be on your toes like this, right? Like this. See, like this. That's why from here, you can stand up. Okay? It is difficult, guys, to stand up like this. Spread your legs. Spread your legs, guys, like this. And then from here, can you stand up?
Again, and like I am seeing a trend here that when they do this low version, they tend to jump between Uke's legs to kind of split the legs open and get them going over your head.
Wow, that's amazing. Sensei can. You guys can do that, but Sensei can. But what about here, guys? From here. That's easy to stand up, right? Everybody can do that. Even you can jump. See, you can jump with that. You are in a good position. That's why, so you guys, you need to correct your position of your legs. Okay? So that's why do somersault like this. Pointing your fingers. Sit on your toes. Like this. Okay?
Okay, this one is pretty damn low. Like, yeah, we're more than 135 degrees bent here. Just check it out. And yeah, this final video is basically the lowest one. Uke is on his knees and Tori is just getting super low into this, to the point where the hips start to hinge as well. All right, and that was kind of the spiel. So you could see here from this video that all the degrees of knee bend can work for different body types. I feel like maybe if we notice something that the smaller people with maybe more flexibility, smaller bodies, if they can get super low, it seems to be really effective. Bigger, stronger guys don't seem to need to bend their knees as much. And yeah, so you know, it's really interesting to see. And which one is the best? I mean, if they all work, can you really say one is the best? If I were to say one thing, though, I would say that you doing the low version is probably the most beneficial for your body, just from like a health, physical education, like workout standpoint. You're just keeping your knees and hips healthy, being able to get low and get back up. You know, as we get older, that ability to get up off the floor tends to go. So this is just a great way to, like, you know, age gracefully and keep those knees healthy and get as low as you can for as long as you can. All right, for the rest of the video, we're gonna watch 10 ippon seoinages that were done, you know, in competition, and we're gonna try to determine how low. I'm not gonna be surprised if there are some drop seoinages into this, so let's check it out. Okay, we got a super low seoinage here, but it is technically a drop because one knee has hit the ground. So toes off the mat and just dropping his knee right to the mat and doing his seoinage from here. So again, we have another one knee drop seoinage. So I would say this one, number 3, is like minimum knee bend. Yeah, I would say more minimum knee bends, like big hinges at the waist. Again, minimum knee bend again. I guess all of these are like that. Okay, we have a proper drop here. Both knees hitting the mats. Yeah, and like pretty much all of these were either split into like minimum knee bends or drops. So it's yeah, I guess in this compilation of top 10 seoinages, we didn't really get a lot of knee bend here, so that's interesting. All right, that was basically the summary of knee bends in seoinages and how it's taught, the different variations, going from like little to no knee bend, less than 10 degrees, to like over 130 degrees. It's like massive knee bends here. All right, so that was that. If you love seoinage, if you have a preference, like how low do you like to go, I would love to know. Let me know what you think is the best. Like, should you know, get low or don't get low at all and just basically hinge on your waist? You know, what do you think is the most efficient? Let's have a discussion about it. All right, that was the video. Take care. Bye bye.